So we have our speaker for today. Thought I would introduce him. And I should mention to Coach Franks that Barry Enright from across the street from Barry Enright was an outstanding quarterback for St. Mary's High School back around 2003 or 4, something like that.
Yeah, early 2000s.
Yeah. And so one day there was a group of St. Mary's football players crossing the driveway, and they were tossing the football back and forth. And the football got loose and kind of rolled across the street and into my driveway. So I reached down, picked it up, and tossed it back to him with a beautiful spiral. And hit my target. And some of the guys, oh, great throw, and that sort of thing. So I was pretty excited as I went into the house and iced my arm for about 2 minutes. But Coach Franks, yes, let's see. Tony Franks is the head coach at St. Mary's High School in Stockton, California. He's been recognized as the State Coach of the Year for 2025, marking a significant achievement in his coaching career. Under his leadership, the St. Mary's football team won its first CIF state title, making history as the first team from Stockton to achieve this honor. St. Mary's also won its 18th straight league title, to move into a tie for second on an all-time state list. Coach Franks has dedicated over 27 years of coaching and has established a legacy of success at St. Mary's High School. Please help me welcome Coach Franks.
Can I just
You can do whatever you want.
I can just be here, can I?
You just can't leave the room.
Yeah, I hope no one else leaves. Yeah. A quick question first. Can I put this off and come back on whiskey night? It sounded like that was going to be the fun night, so that was great. You saw the Eagles? Really? Were they really good?
Highly recommend. They're retiring.
Yeah, love those guys. I've got just a few things to share with you today. I want to tell you a brief story about my experience with Rotary. I want to reflect on Rotary and coaching football. I want to tell you a little bit about what we stand for at St. Mary's, then I'm going to share with you a story about going to a state championship game with a bus full of high school kids. Okay? So, when I was in high school, I attended the Camp Royal camp for, in between my junior and senior year. Rotary sponsored, and I don't know if they still do, maybe you guys do.
Yeah.
Still do?
Yeah.
I attended Camp Royal the summer between my junior and senior year in high school. Was chosen for whatever, the campus leadership deals and that sort of thing for whatever reason. And even though it was a while ago, I still remember that experience. And I remember the keynote speaker at camp that year was Jim Tunney. Jim Tunney was the famous football official that officiated in the NFL for years and years, and was one of the deans of NFL football officiating. And it was just a profound experience for me, and one that I carried with me and still carry with me throughout my life. So Rotary was great for me at that time. When I was thinking about what to talk about, what to share with you guys today, I did a little research, and I looked up some things about Rotary that I'm sure you guys are all aware of, but a few things really stood out to me. And one thing that I found on my little internet search in doing some research was this: Paul Harris founded Rotary so that professionals with diverse backgrounds could exchange ideas and form meaningful lifelong relationships. And so I saw that, and two things really jumped out at me out of that. One is people from diverse backgrounds. And I want to share this thought with you. There is no more diverse place on our planet than a football locker room. I've got them all. I've got young men and at times young women. I've coached 5 female football players in my, it's been 27 years that I've been at St. Mary's, but I've been coaching since 1981. So almost 45 years of coaching experience. I was at the collegiate level for a number of years before returning to St. Mary's. But I get them all. I get young men of all different ethnicities and backgrounds and socioeconomic levels and value systems, and they have different tastes in music. Some of them are great big guys that don't run very good, and some of them are small little skinny guys that are really fast, and they're all 16 and 17 years old. And somehow, some way, I have to take this diverse group of people and get them all to go in the same direction, and get them all to kind of do the same thing at the same time. So that stood out to me. And then the other was form lifelong relationships. And that's really the key to what we do. Winning high school football games and all that is great, but that's not why we do what we do. And as I reflect back on younger experiences in my life, I don't remember the scores of the games, but once a month I get together with my buddies and we go to lunch at John's Deli on the first Thursday of the month, my old high school classmates, and we have lunch and we talk, and we formed those lifelong lasting relationships while we were in high school. The second thing from Paul Harris that stood out to me was this, and I'll share a thought with you about this. Whatever Rotary may mean to us, to the world, it will be known by the results it achieves. And so this year we win a state championship. First one. First time in our school's history, first time in the history of Stockton that any high school has ever won a state championship in the sport of football. So the world knows that by the results that we achieved. And it's fantastic for our community, and it validates all the efforts of my coaching staff and all the years that they put in and so on. But that's not what it means to us. Just like, as this statement says, whatever Rotary may mean to us, to the world, they look at what you achieve. So for us, if it were about winning state championships, then that would invalidate all those years of coaching, all those years of having good teams, coaching Barry Enright and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of other young men, where we didn't win a state championship, and those years were just as meaningful as this year. So it was great, but it's kind of what we do. So, what we do at St. Mary's, kind of some of the things that we believe in, just a few of the important things for us. One is, and the things that I try to instill in our players are this. Number one, detach from the result, focus on the process. So I don't ever talk to my team about winning a football game. I don't ever give a pregame talk about, okay, fellas, let's go out and win this one. We don't ever say those words. What I talk about are the things that we have to do to be our best. So we're going to make sure that we're organized on special teams. We're going to make sure that we've prepared. We're going to make sure that every day in preparation that we've put into this effort are the best days that we have. That's the process that we go through, and then we live with the result. Whatever happens, happens. And it was interesting, this year after we win a state championship, there were a lot of people that wanted to talk to me. And this one reporter and I got into this conversation, and he got me to this path, he got me down this path where I said, well, hey, listen, if you truly believe in this, and detach from the result, focus on the process, then you have to detach from the good results also. You can't just detach from the bad ones. You got to detach. You have to go, okay, and then you evaluate what you did, and so on. And so that's a big part. That's an important part of what we do. Another important part, and I learned this back in my days at UC Davis. I played there. I got my coaching start there. I spent 12 years there. in the 90s, coaching football at Davis. And the three tenets that we always held on to there were trust, unity, and togetherness. Trust, unity, and togetherness. So trust is critical. Football is a game. I got to know that if I do the right thing, my partner's going to do the right thing also, and I don't have to do his job. He's going to do his job. I just have to do my job. And so trust is important. Unity, as I mentioned, that diverse piece to this thing. All those young men that are so different, they are so different from so many different backgrounds. We've got to build an environment of unity with that group. And it's so easy to do in football because we have a common cause. There's something that we're all trying to do. We all want the same thing out of our time together. And it's really, I don't know, nowadays where there's a lot of challenge regarding being unified within a diverse population, it's refreshing to know that it can be done, because I see it every day. I see it every day in our weight room when our guys are together supporting one another, all looking real different and all kind of doing the same thing, a lot of unity. And then togetherness. And we really believe that there's no substitute for time together. We have to spend time together to build relationships and have a feeling of bonding and togetherness. One of the other things that's important to us is our faith. So I feel so lucky at St. Mary's High School. It's a private Catholic high school, as I'm sure you all know, and we can talk about faith. And we do. One of our team members leads us in prayer before every practice. We attend Mass together as a team on every game day, and I find that really helps us build trust. Faith and trust are similar words. Our young people boy, it's so hard to be a young person these days. I mean, there's so much noise. There's so much going on. There's so much anxiety in our younger population. To be able to talk about, hey, have some faith. Just trust that if you do the right thing every day, that things just might work out for you in the end. That you'll be okay. I really feel like that's an important element that we can bring to our young people, and we do. And then the last thing that's important to us is accountability, effort, and competition. So we hold our kids accountable. If they're late for the weight room, there's a price to pay. It's an uncomfortable price for them, so they do not prefer that. So guess what? They're not late. They learn how to show up on time. They're held accountable for doing the things that we require them to do every single day that we're together, which is most of the year. Effort, we're huge about effort. We want everybody's best every day. If you're not giving maximum effort, if you're not giving all you've got, then you're called out on that, and you're held to task on that. So we want everybody's best effort. To do that, I got to give my best effort. We work hard, we grind during the football season. It's a 7-day-a-week effort, and I firmly believe that if I can outwork everybody that I have to compete against, that I'll prevail. And so we take that approach with a willingness to out-effort anybody that we have to play against. And then finally, the competitive aspect. Competitiveness is an important part of our world. We have to understand that we're competing every day against other people that are trying to be better than we are. So we got to show up and bring our best every day. So we try and compete. And even in this off season, Thursdays are our competition days, and we have our teams divided up in little units, and we do all sorts of little fun competitive things. Some of them are strength based, some are speed based. Some days we compete with fun things like scavenger hunts and things like that. Each team's held accountable for their GPAs, so GPA competitions and things like that, to try and get everybody to bring their best every day. And then my last thing for you is I'll share with you what it was like going to a state championship game. And I'll give, since it's just us today, I'll share with you what really happened on the trip to the state championship. So we leave Stockton, so our game is Friday night down in Southern California, Saddleback College down in LA in late December. And I don't know if you guys remember, in December here in Stockton, it was cold, it was 40 degrees every day. It felt like it was minus 40, and it was foggy every day. And we're out there practicing in that stuff, right? And it's just miserable. And it's dark at night, the end of the day, 4 to 6 in the afternoon, we practice. It's dark, and it's cold, and it's miserable. And so we leave for this, so we make it to the state championship game. And by winning a game on a Friday night against Serra High School out of San Mateo, tremendous program. 2 and 3 years ago, Serra High School was the open division representative for Northern California in the state championship bracket, which means they beat De La Salle and got to represent Northern California in the open division championship. There's different divisions. So Serra was a tremendous program. We play Serra on a Friday night. We beat them somehow, some way, miraculously, to earn a right to go down and play for state championship. So bus arrangements have to be made. We got literally a couple of days to get a travel party of about 75 people from Stockton to LA on a Thursday morning coming up. We get a tremendous send-off Thursday morning. We meet at school, the bus is there. The city of Stockton, the coolest thing I've ever seen was the police escort that our bus got, not only out of town, but to the county line down by the county hospital. They took us down El Dorado Street, down March Lane, and down the freeway, all the way to the county line. There must have been 30 Stockton police officers on motorcycles, literally stopping traffic. We felt like we were in the presidential limousine motorcade. It was, and we're sitting here in this bus with a bunch of high school kids getting a police escort out of Stockton. We had a huge send-off. It was fantastic. And so it was a great trip down, and we got a great send-off, and the trip was perfect. And high school kids, they aren't as rambunctious as they used to be. They don't, so they get on the bus, and some of them fall asleep right away because we left at 8 o'clock in the morning, and that would, that's like, wow. And some of them are on their devices, and it's quiet, and a bus ride is so peaceful. And it's just like meditation for me. I'm just riding this bus, and the world is going by, and the kids are quiet, and we're just rolling down I-5, and it's like, oh, finally some peace in my life. And the trip is perfect. We stop at a rest stop, partway down, we have lunch. We had to change our clothes because we'd arranged to have our Thursday practice down in LA at St. John Bosco High School in LA. So we had to be ready for that when we got off the bus there. So we had lunch and change and get back on the bus and head over the Grapevine down in the LA Basin. The trip is perfect. It's going so well. Kids are peaceful, sleeping. The parents did an amazing job of making sure we had everything we needed. So we had breakfast burritos, little salsa cups, and tons of waters, and we had boxed lunches prepared for us on the bus, and a group of parents made snack bags. So we had, they had little oranges and chips and cookies, and we had everything we need, and the trip is going great. It's perfect. And we get over into LA, and it's 81 degrees. It's like, so you were talking about San Diego. It's like, oh my God, look at this. And we get to St. John Bosco High School, and we get out of the bus, and the palm trees are going like this, and the sun is, we haven't seen the sun in a month, right? And it's 81 degrees, and we're out there in our t-shirts and shorts, and it's perfect. And we're about a half an hour from the team hotel, really nice hotel. We get back on the bus after practice, and it's a 30-minute bus ride from St. John Bosco High School to the hotel we were staying in. Now this trip is perfect so far. We get on this bus and we start heading towards the hotel, and the traffic was not, it was late afternoon LA traffic, so it wasn't going really well. And it all began with a Cheeto. One kid took a Cheeto, threw a Cheeto at another kid. You know, the kid goes, grabs a Cheeto and throws it back at him. And there's 2 Cheetos. And one of the Cheetos hits one kid and one hits another. And then it's a bag of Fritos. And then it's a salsa cup. And it's water bottle. And the next thing you know, this perfect trip has turned into a prison riot. And there's this massive food fight going on. And they're throwing salsa cups at each other, and dumping water on you. I'm going, oh my God, what happened? So we get to the hotel. And it is honest to God pandemonium. I mean, the screws have come loose and the doors have fallen off. And we've lost them. This is the day before the state championship game. So we get to the hotel and I got to make a decision. And I need a minute. So I get off I have the team stay on the bus. I go, you guys aren't going anywhere. And I get off the bus. And I go, what am I going to do? These guys they've gone wild. I can't let them off the bus. So I get on my gizmo, and I'm looking for a park. Because we were going to go, if there was a park close by, we were going to go to the park and sleep in the park that night and stay there. And I was going to get medieval on them in the park, and we were going to stay in the park. I'm on my gizmo, and there's just cement everywhere. We're like a few blocks from Disneyland in Anaheim. And I'm going to kill these guys. They're just making me crazy. So I get on the bus and I say, you guys aren't getting off the bus until you get it together. We sat on the bus for 30 minutes and they had to gather themselves. I said, I'm not taking you anywhere. I'm canceling our team dinner tonight. We had this really nice dinner planned to go. We were going to go to Buca di Beppo and have dinner as a team. I'm not taking you guys anywhere. I can't take you in public. And I don't even want to stay in this fancy hotel because you're going to embarrass the program. So I canceled dinner. I said, you're not getting fed. You can go to AM/PM and get a 50-cent hot dog for all I care. So they got no dinner the night before the state championship game. I'm going, what am I going to do with these guys? And I'm going, I'm losing my mind. And I have this 10-player leadership council made up of allegedly team leaders. And I made them clean up the bus after the team got off with big garbage bags, and it took them 30 minutes. 10 guys, 30 minutes to clean up this bus. Anyway, that was our experience going to the state championship game, and so the kids stayed that night, and I think everything was mostly okay. And then we had to fix it. Friday morning, we had breakfast together at the thing, and I kind of got the team put back together, and we had breakfast together, and then went to the game. The kickoff was at 4 o'clock, and we went to the game and played Bakersfield Christian out of Bakersfield, coached by the Carr brothers. Any Raider fans in here? Derek Carr. Yeah. So Derek Carr has 2 other brothers, and one of his brothers is the head coach at Bakersfield Christian. So I think his name might be Darren Carr. But anyway, but Derek Carr was on the coaching staff of Bakersfield Christian. So we play this game. Here's my last story for you, which makes me believe in faith. So we play the game. It's 4 o'clock kickoff on a Friday afternoon. Gorgeous Southern California day. Saddleback College down in Orange County. Amazing. And we play the game, and it comes down to the end of the game, and we get the ball. We're ahead by 3 points. Right? We got a 3-point lead. We get the ball, and there's about a minute 30 left in the game, and they have 3 timeouts. So I know that, and I have a chart that I carry with me in every game it's a kill the clock timetable for me. I know how much time, based on how many timeouts you have, how much time I can take off the clock by kneeling in victory formation to win a football game. And we got to get a first down to win this football game, right? So we have the ball and the lead, 3-point lead, and they have 3 timeouts. with 1:30 left on the clock. So we run 2 running plays, they take timeouts, timeout, timeout. Comes down to 3rd down, and it's 3rd and 5. Backed up, I don't know, we're at about our 30-yard line. We call a play that we know we've got. It was no backfield, it's 5 wide receivers, no backs in the backfield. 3rd and 5, our quarterback was having a great day. We had our best receiver at the number 3 spot on the trip side. He runs a little seam route to the inside. The quarterback finds him. He catches the ball. He's taken off upfield, clearly past the 1st down marker. I mean, he's gaining like 10, 12 yards, and all we needed was 3rd and 5, and we can get in victory formation and win this football game and go crazy because we won a state championship. Well, he fights for extra yardage, right? So instead of just going down and taking the 1st down, he's fighting for more. And a safety comes in and drills him and knocks the ball loose, and they recover. He fumbles the ball, and they recover. 40 seconds left in the game. They have the ball. Their quarterback gets it. They throw a seam route to their best receiver. The kid catches the ball. We tackle him at the 1-yard line. Wow. So it's 1st and goal at the 1. They have the ball. 30 seconds left in the game, and I'm going, oh my God, we're going to lose this game, and I'm going to have this kid that dropped that ball is going to need therapy for the rest of his life. So it's 1st and goal. We get a stop. 2nd down, stop for a loss of 3. 3rd down, stop for a loss of 2. 4th and 5 on the 5-yard line. And they have a kicker that's unbelievable. The week of this section championship game that we played against Granite Bay, on the Thursday of that week, we had a funeral service for the young man that was the best player in St. Mary's High School history. He was a 1st-round draft pick in the NFL draft. He was a 2-time All-Pro running back for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. His name was Doug Martin, and maybe the best football player ever to come out of Stockton. And he tragically passed away at the age of 36 during this past football season. And I went to his service. I actually spoke at his service on the Thursday before our section championship game during our football season, in the midst of it. And Doug wore number 22. He wore 22 for us. He went to Boise State, was a great running back at Boise State, 1st-round draft pick by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Dirk Cutter was the head coach at Tampa Bay. He was there in Stockton at Doug's service. It was a big deal. So we buried Doug Martin on the week of the section championship game. Doug Martin wore number 22. So this kid at Bakersfield Christian is lining up to tie this football game with a field goal from the 5-yard line.
Chip shot.
You know what a field goal, you know how many yards a field goal from the 5-yard line is?
22.
It's 22. It's 22 yards. This kid lines up for a 22-yard field goal, and he misses it. And we win a state championship like that. And I didn't realize this until, so we go crazy, and it's like the kid misses, and I'm going, okay, we're going to overtime. This is how this is gonna go. Kind of how it went all year long with this team. And the kid missed the kick, and we go crazy because we get the ball back, and now we can get in victory formation, and we're gonna win the game. We're gonna win a state championship. So we go nuts, crazy, crazy, crazy. Being who I am, get in my car and drive home after the game. I get home at 2 in the morning. At midnight, I'm still driving and I'm questioning my decision making. But, and then the next day I'm reflecting, right? And I'm thinking, man, that kick was from the 5-yard line. And I go, oh my God, that's a 22-yard field goal attempt. That's Doug Martin's number. That's unbelievable. So, it wasn't us that did anything. It with somebody else and figure out on your own who you think that might be. But that's how it went for us, and that's the way our historic season went. It was amazing. Any questions about? Yeah.
Are any of your kids, the seniors, moving on to big schools?
Yeah, I had one that graduated early, so he left us at the end of last semester and is now at UCLA. So our best player off last year's team, our best senior off of last year's team was a real dynamic receiver that we had that's down at UCLA. Right, he's down there right now. Joe?
Have you ever had any kids over the years realize when you did them call you?
All the time. All the time. And the best thing about making the playoffs, well, the best thing about playing for a section championship is, I don't like saying this because it's not about me, but we have a celebration and we have it on Thanksgiving Day, but they don't call it, they call it Franksgiving. So we have when we play for a section title, that is Thanksgiving weekend. And on Thanksgiving morning, we practice. We have a practice on Thanksgiving Day in that morning, and we make it a huge celebration for our entire football community. So all of our alumni and all the kids, come back. Everybody's home for Thanksgiving. And there's hundreds of people that come to this thing. We have a huge breakfast outside of our facility and give thanks, for everything. And then so many kids show up. And this year it was unbelievable. So we just gather and everybody shows up, and then we do our thing, and then we have our meetings. We do our normal Thursday, which is meetings, film session, and a practice. And so we did that this year, and kids come back all the time. We're not easy on them, but I really believe that we need that young people really appreciate a ton of structure, and they love routine. They love being held accountable. They don't bristle at that at all. They will, if you establish a clear expectation and a clear standard, they will do their damnedest to rise up and meet that. I firmly believe that. We don't have to put a whole bunch in it. They do it, right? It's on them. They do it, and they find a way to rise up to it. And I think ultimately they appreciate that.
So are you also a teacher at St. Mary's?
I am now. Yeah, I was an administrator for the first 14 years. I kind of raised money and built buildings at our school, and then we stopped doing that. Administration kind of changed a little bit. We stopped doing that, and so now I teach PE.
So 27 years you've been there too?
I got back to I started my coaching career at UC Davis in 1981, coaching the freshman football team, and I left there to go to UOP. I coached at UOP for a spring when Bob Cope was the head coach, and a guy named Pete Carroll was the offensive coordinator at UOP. I was on that staff, and I left UOP that spring to coach at St. Mary's. I was the head coach at St. Mary's in 1984. I was 26 years old, and I was there for 3 years in the mid 80s. And then I left. I became the defensive coordinator at Santa Clara University when Santa Clara had football. I spent 3 years there. Then I returned to UC Davis, and I spent 12 years at Davis until 2002, and then in 2002 I came back to St. Mary's, and I've been at St. Mary's since 2002.
And did you graduate from St. Mary's?
I did.
Me too.
What year?
79.
76. You youngster?
Yeah.
Yeah, just a
Are
spring
there
chicken.
any St. Mary's graduates in this room? No?
Lincoln.
Okay. That's fine.
Yep.
Okay,
Yes.
Did they have dinner that night?
No.
No?
Well, if they went to the AM PM and got a 50-cent hot dog, they did. There actually was an In-N-Out nearby, and I saw some of the players going to In-N-Out to get something to eat.
Okay.
I didn't mind them having to
They
do
didn't
that.
sleep hungry.
And no, I did, because I couldn't eat. I was so upset. I had to, so that night, we had our meetings and all that, and it was a tense atmosphere, because I was irate. And so we end our evening, and now it's time for sleep, and I can't sleep. I'm going, God dang it. I gotta go for a walk. So I go out of the hotel, we're in Anaheim, right? And I don't know where I am, I mean, it's LA, and I don't go there much. So I gotta go for a walk, because I like to walk. I walk by your house almost every day. So I go for a walk, and I'm just gonna start walking until I feel better. And then I'm gonna go back to the hotel and go to sleep. So I'm walking, I'm just walking and walking and walking. The next thing you know, I pass this sign that says, "Welcome to Santa Ana." Oh, wait a minute. Where? So anyway, I turned around and went back, but those are that's just what you sign up for when you deal with, when sometimes you have to deal with 16, 17-year-old boys. Thank you.
Thank you, Coach.